This is the Columbia River Canoe Project video journal presented by Navarro Canoe Company.
That you somehow want to float the entire length of the Columbia River Basin. You're going to start at a point near the Chamber of Commerce in Butte, Montana.
Day 20 today. Day 19 or day 20? I don't know. It's all starting to blend together a little bit. But since the last time I talked to you guys, been a lot that's happened. So last time I talked to you, we had just crossed Lake Pend Oreille. So following day, we had kind of a easy morning. Then we got in, paddled till kind of late, but we crossed through Idaho and we had made it all the way into Washington. So that was awesome. Day following that, we had just a long day, little bit of uphill wind, very little current, wide, flat river, wider and flatter than you could imagine. And we kind of just struggled through that section, to be perfectly frank. Hot day, but we got our mileage in. And then the next day we decided we were going to do 40 miles all the way up to the Canadian border. So morning started, we were doing well, we were chewing miles all the way up to Medellin Falls. Came to the rapids and we kind of made a decision. It was mostly my decision. Looking at them from above, I thought it was something that was going to be close, but something that we could run. I knew that the run out was really safe, big, open, deep run out right now. And so we decided that we'd run it. We took all the gear out of the canoe, me and Braxton put in, and we started heading over there. As soon as I came around the corner and I was at water level with that rapid, I knew that we were going to be hard pressed to make it through with the canoe still right side up. We came through, we hit that rapid, and took about 3 before we were fully upside down, 3 waves, and swimming. Braxton was really swimming. I was holding onto the canoe. I hopped in for a little bit and was able to get it to an eddy, and Braxton made it to the eddy as well, got the canoe dumped out, and still had some miles to push after that. So the rest of that day we were really going into night. It was a bit late. We had quite a few miles left, but we made it up to the Canadian border, and it actually was one of my favorite sections of paddling. We were a little wet, but the weather was nice. And we came through this canyon. There were beautiful waterfalls on either side. There were hot springs coming in. There were 400-foot limestone cliffs. And just beautiful right at sunset. We stuck with it all the way into the moonlight, was getting ready to pull out the headlamps. And the moon just shone so beautifully off the glassy water. We decided not to use them and just paddled all the way up to Boundary Lake, called Boundary Lake because it's right there. It's the boundary of Canada. So made the boundary of Canada, and then yesterday ended up being a bit of a scouting day. We crossed over. We were trying to figure out exactly what we have to do at the borders, and what ended up being the solution was we get as close to the border as we can, put the canoe in the van, drive it across the border, and then come back to as close as we can to the border again, put it back in the river, and go on down the river. Yesterday was really neat. We met some really cool folks. I had met this man, Darcy's son. He plays in a band with Tim Montana, who's from Elk Park, and where I grew up. And so we got to spend a lot of time with Darcy, and he was a really neat, really cool fella. He really helped us out. He shuttled the van for us so that we didn't have to find a way to get back from one border to the next border. And it was really, really a positive experience. Kind of neat. Some things are just meant to be. Where we camped last night, there was actually like a 3-day high school canoe class going on. So got a cool opportunity to talk to them about the values of the river around them and why it's important to protect our waterways, and talk a little about the trip, how far we've came, how far we have left to go. Then today we actually did it. So we canoed a section. Jonathan Stone tagged in because Braxton had a little bit of passport issues. So Jonathan Stone tagged in, paddled the morning, and then he huffed it with me today for a big portage. Our second biggest so far ended up being 7 miles. We came up to the first dam, and we had realized that we couldn't basically, we could get in after the first dam, but we couldn't get out before the second dam. The walls of the canyon were just too steep, and it wasn't something we were going to be able to do. So instead of being able to run a section that we had expected to run in the water in the middle, we portaged for the full 7 miles. Jonathan was a sub-in trooper. He really crushed it today. And then we came around the corner and saw the Columbia, saw where the Pend Oreille River flowed into the Columbia, and it was breathtaking. It was amazing. I was so stoked. While we're about halfway done with the journey now, all of the rest of the journey between here and the ocean will all be in the true Columbia River. So we've came a long way. I'm impressed and I am proud and I'm determined. I'm impressed and proud that we've made it so far, and I'm determined to make it the rest of the way, and things are looking good in the Columbia River. And tomorrow what it's going to look like is we have some current, and then we're going to hit another lake with another dam at the end of it, and really entering dam and wind country. So we're determined to get through it, and things are going well. It's a beautiful night, and I'm thankful that you guys are here and listening to me ramble about this trip. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I really just want to thank all the incredible people who have helped out throughout the journey. It's been amazing to meet these folks, and their help has made this trip go so much smoother than I ever could have imagined. So thank you all so much.
And jumping in canoes and trying to fly your ass over 1/3 of this country, I guess you've got to have some level of lack of intelligence for that.